recently a new Disney Plus Marvel show came out called Agatha All Along, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's one of the best things Marvel has put out in years. But I'm curious to see what other people's opinions are on the show and discuss those opinions, which is what I'm going to do today. We're going to start by reading and replying and discussing some comments on a Reddit post I made for this video. Let's take a look. I made a post saying, Agatha All Along is the best Marvel show of recent years. Thoughts? Big Grin Jesus said, Agatha is a terrible character and Kathryn Hahn's performance is overrated in the show. I don't know if I pronounced that surname right, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, then they said, Billy is the least interesting and least charismatic character in all of fiction. I don't care what happens next to either of them. I didn't dislike the show while I was watching it because there was enough mystery to keep me interested week to week, and the reveal about the road was good, but the ending overall was boring. The only MCU show worse than this was Secret Invasion. So I think this is a bit of a silly reply. I think this user is a bit unserious. I think this is an insane thing to say. Now, not enjoying the show obviously is one thing, but the least charismatic character in all of fiction is crazy. That's mad. That is mad. I'm going to have to disagree there. I think Agatha is a fantastic character, and Kathryn's performance was brilliant. It was incredible. She stole every scene. I think Joe Locke as Billy was also incredible. I think he kind of killed it. I think this whole cast kind of killed it. I love this show. This person said, I thought it was just kind of okay. Like, I didn't have any big problems with it, but every character felt like a throwaway character. None of the deaths mattered to me because all of the characters that died felt like they were invented specifically to show up and die. I can understand that, but I also disagree. I think for the most part, most of the characters were set up very well. I think the most well set up character who then dies would be Lilia. I thought her sort of dedicated episode when she's shifting through time was incredible, and I think that was the most impactful death in the show. I think some of the others didn't have the same impact as that, other than maybe Agatha herself, but obviously, and again, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video. Obviously with Agatha's death, she sort of comes back as a ghost, which is always going to take away some of the impact, I think. But for the most part, all the characters are pretty well set up. I think Lilia has the best. I hope I'm saying that name right, Lilia. Okay, this person said the acting and cast are great, VFX is good, and pacing was good too. In my opinion, it felt like the show became Billy all along after that backstory episode with the Evans Peters cameo, which isn't a bad thing because I am a big fan of Billy and Tommy, and will love to see them reunite again. I don't know why, but it just didn't do it for me. I thought they could do more. Maybe someone can change my mind. I'm open to hearing other people's thoughts. I get what you're saying, but also again I disagree. I think there's a lot of focus on the character of Billy in this series, but I don't think Billy has more attention than Agatha does, other than an episode or two. But I still think the story being told is Agatha's. I think this is more of a setup in the first part of Billy's story. I imagine we're going to see more of that character. This person just said, I just want to say that it's so nice to see a project receive such broad appreciation. Yeah, it feels quite rare that such a large portion of an audience is so broadly positive about a new show or project. That does seem quite rare nowadays, and I have seen overwhelmingly more positive things said about Agatha All Along than negative things. Maybe that's just in my own circles or what I've seen, but generally that's been the sort of reception of it. And I think the difference is Agatha All Along feels, I don't know what it is because I can't evidence this, it's just like a vibe. It seems like it's made with more love than a lot of the recent shows. Like it's so just, even though it comes from the backstory of the Scarlet Witch, it still feels so self-contained. Like it feels so unique to the sort of Marvel shows we get. It feels very unique, very fresh. It feels like it was made with love. It's so unapologetically itself, and I think that is why it's been enjoyed so much, and hopefully that is a lesson that Marvel can learn. That, you know, I think some in recent years, some Marvel projects are very much just like, they don't feel like they're made with a lot of love. They're just sort of thrown out to fit into this big jigsaw puzzle. Whereas I think Agatha All Along is a beautiful self-contained story of Agatha. Even if she is used again or developed more, it feels like a very nice self-contained thing. I really like this show. Again, I'll keep saying it. Okay, this person said, I'm feeling some big recency bias here. I'd say the only Disney Plus show that was actively bad was Secret Invasion. The rest were alright to amazing. I honestly feel pretty underwhelmed by the finale of Agatha All Along, but the show as a whole was enjoyable. I think the takeaway from WandaVision and Agatha All Along is that fans really dig when you remix the superhero show formula. It's fun seeing the characters thrust into weird context every episode. It's not all superhero costumes and fighting. Yeah, that's real. I can't speak for everyone who's praising Agatha All Along, but I can say that from what I've seen, not every show gets this sort of positive reception right off the back, especially this sort of broad positive reception. And for me personally, I don't know if there's ever been a Marvel show other than maybe Moon Knight that right from the jump I've been completely like invested in, like waiting the days away for the next episode to come out. I loved Moon Knight. I loved Agatha All Along on those levels. Agatha probably a little bit more. I did enjoy the Loki series. I enjoyed WandaVision. Those were all really good. But I think the ones that really properly invested me, where I was like, oh, now I've got to wait a week for an episode, it was Agatha All Along and maybe Moon Knight. So I don't think for me anyway it's recency bias. But I do agree, I do like when they change up the formula and make things that are less superhero-y, I guess. I love the comments that are like, no, it isn't the best and I don't plan on watching it. There is always a subsection of people on the internet taking part in internet discourse about media, TV and films that will very happily say something is not good but still not watch it and never give it a chance. This person said, one of the worst shows I have ever seen. This person may well be American, but I'm just gonna do the angry, anti-woke, 50-year-old English pub dweller voice for this comment because it feels appropriate. One of the worst shows I have ever seen. It was just a bunch of random disconnected scenes with big I'm 14 and this is deep vibes. Oh, the blue lightning's hitting the purple lightning. Now the purple lightning is hitting the green lightning. This sounds to me like someone who's just completely, I don't know, like zoned out watching the show, not paid attention to the plot. Because I've watched a lot of the Marvel shows and I'd say Agatha's one of the most connected, put together, well written and well paced ones. And most of the show, the main characters do not have magic. They're trying to get magic back. There's not a lot of the lightning stuff until like the finale for the most part. It was pretty good character drama. This person said, yeah, I don't get it. I wonder if people were just expecting so little that when it turned out to be reasonable, they overcompensated. There was a lot of stuff they got right, great acting, a wonderful episode 7, a consistent tone, but ultimately it felt quite disposable, and I didn't care about any of the characters, who were all fairly thinly drawn until the episode where they died. I actually really struggled getting through the first 4 episodes. They were quite slow and the whole escape room feeling wasn't that interesting. It massively picked up with the Billy reveal, and after that I enjoyed it just fine, but something like Hawkeye was just as fun and had characters that I was already invested in. Yeah, I mean, I can understand it. It's obviously not going to click for everyone. I'm glad that most people can sort of appreciate that it is good, and people seem to love episode 7 completely. But yeah, it's interesting. I really felt something special with this show. And I'm curious what you lot in the comments are feeling about Agatha All Along if you've watched it. I'm assuming you have if you've watched this video. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments and I might make a follow-up. I'm also going to look at a couple of comments on a YouTube post I made. This person said I haven't watched any of the new Marvel stuff because I'm so far behind. To give you an idea of how far behind I am, haven't seen Infinity War yet, or any of the Tom Holland Spider-Mans yet. I definitely saw Age of Ultron, but I can't remember where I left off at. Yeah, that is one of the issues with Agatha All Along, is I can't recommend it to people as much as I'd like to, because the show probably wouldn't make a lot of sense without the context of WandaVision. So already that's 2 shows you've got to watch. And then for WandaVision, you kinda need the context of the Avengers films. That is one of the big issues with the MCU in general for me. I think it's just too complicated now and they release so much stuff that it's so hard to keep up and be able to understand everything that happens in these shows. Thankfully, I did watch the Avengers films. I did watch WandaVision when it came out, so I could watch Agatha All Along and understand it and have a great time. But that's the issue, because not everyone watched every Marvel thing when it came out. I didn't see all the Marvel stuff when it came out, and it makes it hard to sort of jump in. You really do need to like watch the films and the shows to kind of know what's going on for the most part, which is one of the criticisms that I do have. I wish they'd make more unique, self-contained stories. I also kind of wish Marvel, with the films and shows and everything, would have a lot less characters going at once and just do sequels more frequently. Like, why do we have like 30, 40 characters going at once with all different shows? Like, maybe it'll be easier for everyone and you'll get more developed characters that could potentially become as iconic as Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, if you actually gave them more attention rather than trying to work with a million different characters. Like, I love the Shang-Chi film, but what? How many years ago was that? 2021. So it's been like, what, 3 years and we've not gotten a sequel to Shang-Chi? And when is the last time we've seen that character? That is not how we get iconic, famous characters, by making one film, forgetting about them for a few years, then coming back. Even if Shang-Chi's in the next Avengers films, it's like, sorry, we're not gonna remember that film for the most part. For the general audience like myself that isn't caught up in comic book lore, they're like, oh, Shang-Chi, I kind of remember him. What was his story again? I don't know. I've got a lot of criticisms, but what I will say is in recent years, Agatha All Along is probably my favourite thing Marvel has given us. Other than like the Spider-Man films, they're pretty sick. But yeah, let me know what you guys will think about everything that's been said in this video by myself and these comments. And yeah, I'll reply to some. I'll make another video maybe. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Let me know if there's any other topics or shows you want me to cover on this channel. I want to branch out a bit. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.